Good morning. How is everyone today? I've got my niece Faith with me.
Hi.
Faith, you want to talk about yourself for a minute? You never do that.
Oh. That's because I like listening to other people about themselves.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say something.
My name is Faith. I'm Sonia's niece from her brother Chris, as we all know. Anyways, I'm in my 4th semester of college, and I'm going for my Associates of Science. Yeah.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the most infamous thing to talk about today, and that's maybe I shouldn't say it. Maybe I should get the little pad and put it up, because I don't want this video taken down. Hold on. Oh, where is it? Let's see. Is this the pad? Oh, I guess it might be.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about... That's right. And it's going to be about... Boy, have I gotten a lot of flack on this subject. First, let me just say, Faith's here because she's taking some of this stuff in her college. Well, not all of it, but some of it. And we were having a conversation this morning, and I'm like, Faith, you want to do a video with me? I attempted to do a video on this by myself yesterday, and it came out all angry, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to post that. Because I started screaming at people, and it's like, oh, I can't post this. I didn't want to do an angry video. I just wanted to get my message across without screaming. So I had things that I had written down on my little list here about little things I want to talk about. But before we go into this, let's talk about what we were talking about this morning about the, you know what?
Yeah. So this morning we were talking about parasites, and we were talking about what is in the...
You got to find it.
Yeah, I do. 'Cause I'm not going to say that. What's in here? We were talking about that because the misconception is that a lot of people, things that are pulling out the dead bodies were these parasites. Well, we were having a conversation that maybe it's not parasites and maybe it's snakes. Okay? Snakes, when they are born, they come out into eggs. And as we've noticed and have seen before in these, that they are eggs that are being put into the... Yeah, and then into us. And since they've been synthesized, snakes can grow to be, several feet long.
Or longer, depending on what type. Mm-hmm. Look at the boa constrictors.
Mm-hmm. And God knows what else. And so then we were talking about parasites and how they work. So what we've learned in class is that a lot of people used to know this as STDs. STDs are actually now called STIs, which is sexually transmitted infections. The reason why they're not called STDs anymore is because that is a disease, and these sexually transmitted infections are infections. Diseases are things that are basically what your body has made because of something that you have done to it, whether it's a lack of diet or a poor diet. Whether you stopped walking, so now you're getting osteoarthritis, or you're now obese, or even diabetes are considered diseases because of something that your body, has been Anyways, parasites are not like that. They are things that has to be transferred to your body from an outside source. One of the main things that people don't know or realize is that chlamydia is the #1 STD found in the United States. It is also most popularly accumulated of all places in the District of Columbia, which I thought was crazy. I don't know what they're doing there, but they're getting freaky. Anyways, and yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you were talking about how chlamydia transmits to children that are being born because of the blood.
Yes, so chlamydia, just like any other parasite, it can be transferred through you via sexually, but it can also be transferred through blood from mother to child, through childbirth. Because when the child is being birthed through the vaginal canal, it ends up getting covered in blood, and that could be transmitted that way too.
Vaginal canal.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
But we thought it was really interesting because I'm going to be posting in the description, what was her name? I think I had it written down somewhere. Dr. Ruby.
I'm not
That's
sure.
what her name was. Oh, I must have it in a different book, but
Yeah.
I think her name was Dr. Ruby.
Yeah. But when we were talking about the snakes that are
Jane
inside
Ruby.
Well, when we were talking about the snakes that are inside the people, Sonia mentioned that she was like, well, a lot of people, they haven't really, like, they've been feeling things moving and stuff, or sometimes they don't even notice, but that's because they're taking over the neuros. And I told her, I said, the main difference between a parasite compared to a bacteria, which the reason why I'm saying this is because we have 30 different kinds of sexually transmitted infections, and out of all the 30, there's only a handful that are actually bacteria. All of the rest are actually based because of parasites. And the reason how and why this happens is because they're just, doing the thing with like random things, and you can get infected anyway.
Yeah, it's really, really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since this whole thing came out about the, I got a little bit blasted by some people, and I couldn't understand why. And then I started looking into things about PsyOps. What if you wanted to PsyOps something, and the first thing you want to do is you're going to build up this whole narrative that if I can put out all these false stories, that if something that is actually legitimate slips out because you don't know about it, you'll think it's a part of the false narrative and you'll just rubber stamp it, PsyOp, because you've been conditioned to believe anything that's new that could be contributed to a story that sounds outlandish, we can just rubber stamp it, PsyOp, and then we don't have to worry about any kind of truth coming out because you wouldn't believe it anyway because you've been so PsyOped yourself. You've been so mind conditioned, mind controlled. So when you do hear the truth, you're going to out of hand dismiss it. And then I was thinking, I saw a few things that were a bit unsettling from content providers. There was this one person, and they came out, and the first thing they did was they started cussing and cursing everyone for even thinking that this could be a possibility, and then shaming you. How dare you? And then there were other ones that were like, if it causes any kind of a negative emotion on you, then shut it down immediately. We don't want to feel anything. And it's like, where is all of this coming from?
At that point, they're literally trying to make you AI and to be a robot.
Yeah.
Because AI has no emotions.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that in a part of certain communities, especially if it's supposed to be this higher vibrational, whatever, enlightenment, a lot of that in there is PsyOp, and it was woven in to shut you down. And I think it's really sad. Tell me, are we not human here? Well, the ones probably watching this, most of you, we're having a human experience now because of what we're in. And with this human experience comes a range of emotions. And if you start shutting down every one of those emotions, you will become robotic. This is not why you're here. You didn't come here to feel nothing. No, you didn't. You came here to feel the range of emotions, like a range of colors.
That's why the people who have gotten this are having a lack of emotion, because they're being shut down on a cellular level, because they're being connected to AI, and AI cannot have emotions.
No, it is just really sad. And another thing I was really upset about is that there's all different kind of communities out there. And of course, the one that I'm loosely attached to is the truther community, because I'm not a part of anything. I stand on my own. I am my own being. I can't really be put into any kind of category because I don't really fit.
She's an individual,
yeah.
not a follower.
I'm never going to follow anything. I do like being a part of conversations, but the one thing I don't really like being is a part of a group. I'm never going to be a part of a mainstream group. That's just not who I am. I've always been isolated, and most likely I'll continue to be somewhat isolated. I do enjoy conversations, but I'm not a follower. I have my own opinions about things, and I think it's healthy to have your own opinions about things. And if somebody brings up something new to the table, there's no way I'm going to rubber stamp anything. Every single thing needs to be looked at and into, because you never know if there's anything valid inside of that. So I had a few people tell me that I've really, really dove deep into this too fast, too soon, because of some of the things that are PsyOps are, if something goes viral, then it's a PsyOp. That's not necessarily true. It is true in some cases. It is not true in other cases. It has to be done on an individual basis. If so-and-so looks into something, like, oh, I didn't like that person and they're saying this, so it has to be a PsyOp because I don't like that person. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. I don't like everyone either. I mean, I'm kind to everyone that I come across, but I might not care for their personalities. Or maybe I just don't like who they are. But that doesn't mean just because they said something, I won't look into it. Oh, yes, I will still look into it, because you never know where are those grains of truth.
What you need to do is look at both sides of the picture. Don't just, take something off and be like, no, and hide your ears. So at that point, you're not letting anything new come to you.
What was those little monkeys? See no evil, say no evil, hear no evil. We're not going to be that ostrich with its butt sticking out so the tiger can pounce, because, I'm dinner.
Plus, if you start attacking something for no reason and you have no base grounds, no actual information to attack it, and you're just saying whatever, cuss words, this and that, at that point you have to look at yourself and what's wrong with you and why you're rejecting it so hard.
I found that a lot of people that, and this isn't everyone, but this goes for a few people, that if they've attacked it out of hand, right off the bat, claiming to be whatever, it all usually goes back to the cursed Babylonian money system. They have something to lose. And then you have to look at why are you going down this line? Unless you're an actual specialist and you deal in this field specifically, you can't claim to know absolutely everything. You can talk to many doctors and they're like, that's not my field, but yet they're doctors, okay? So it's like, wait a minute. Just because you went to some kind of a medical school and you hold degrees, do you hold a degree in every single department of this body? No, you do not. Maybe general degrees, but not everything. So how could you possibly claim to know everything if you haven't been in that specific field? I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, oh my gosh. Look, if I know bits and pieces of things because I've looked into things, plus I've done some physical work and then some remote viewing, I still could never begin to say I know the whole picture. No, I don't. I only see what I can see. I only learn what I can learn. I can't know it all. It's too much. The field's enormous. I think if you went to school to be a doctor and you wanted to learn it all, you may think about graduating when you're about 90 or 100, and that's if you could even get it all finished by then.
That's why most people, when they go to school for being doctors and stuff, their learning never ends. Same thing with if you want to be a teacher. Most teachers, when after they graduate, they get their degree, now they're in school, they have to continue getting more degrees because their education can never end. Yeah. They have to always constantly be learning, because the moment you stop learning is the moment you shut down and you're not open to new things, and now you can't progress as an individual.
And if you can't open up to new things, how are you going to discover the evilness that's being done to humanity?
Yeah.
I mean, we're on some kind of genocide list here. Come on, people. Let's get off the list. Let's do something. We have to acknowledge some of the most hideous things thrown at us. Even if we don't like it, we still have to look into it.
Yes, because if you don't look into it, you'll never find the cure for it.
That's exactly right. So I was talking to, who was I talking to? I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about ego. I might have talked to you about this too.
I think it was.
We all need to have ego. It defines who we are. But what we don't need is the ego that goes overboard.
Too much of it, and now you become an idiot.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Because if you've got too much ego, and your ego won't allow you to start thinking out of the box, so you're going to be stuck in the box.
Or even more so than that, you might do stupid shit. You know, you might become narcissistic and vain. You might, think you can do all of this, but in reality you can't, and now you're hurting yourself.
Or hurting other people because you're putting out information that's not valid because you don't have the full background. You really have to look into everything.
Yes, you do.
So this whole That thing is so full of so many things. It's unreal.
It is unreal.
But we were talking this morning about the coroners pulling these worm-like substances out of their whole vascular system.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started going on to the SNAKE.
I've been saying it in this video, so oh well.
Yeah. So basically we're like, you know what? Eggs, lynx, and what if they're not worms? What if they're snakes? It's even worse.
You know, here's another thing. Most parasites that I learned, they're asymptomatic. So you will never really truly know if you have a parasite in you until you start detoxing with the borax. Or unless if you go to the doctors and you get your blood drawn and then it shows that your white blood cell count is high or elevated, which means your body is fighting off an infection, which that infection could be parasites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernadette came over here yesterday and she was telling me she was taking clay diatomaceous earth or something like this, and
Okay.
she said it does really well. So there's more than just borax.
Yeah.
Go and research, people. Find out how to detox.
Ginseng. Ginseng's really good. They sell these bottles of ginseng, or we get it from
Oh
the farmer's
gosh,
market.
let me go get it. Let me
Yeah.
go get it.
Well,
Yeah.
I like how you're bringing both over.
I am bringing both over. Faith found this and
Mhm.
she's like, "Aunt Sonia, get on this." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay." So we're taking this. Mm-hmm.
And we're also taking
And this is most horrible. It tastes terrible.
It tastes like dirt.
No,
This
it
one,
tastes like Indian ink.
well, to me it tastes like dirt, but like on steroids. That's
Yeah.
how bad it is.
This one's not that bad.
This one actually has a sweet flavor because of the royal jelly.
Yeah, but I'll show you what they look like. I'll take out this one. This one
Okay,
has like
this one.
30 bottles in it. Oh my gosh.
For here, it's
So-
only $7 and something cents for that
Yeah.
entire thing.
It's really priced well. I did it at the Asian market, or the farmer's market, which is an Asian market. Look at this itty bitty little bottle. And it comes with little straws and a little thing to poke it open, which it probably fell out. Oh, there it is. Here's this little thing it comes with. Oops.
Nope.
Poke it open. So on the very top, you just put this little thing and poke it open, do your straw in there and take, this really tastes. When I was young, we had Indian ink and I had spilled some on me and I guess somehow it ended up in my mouth. I don't know how, and this tastes like Indian ink. And as soon as I took this, I'm like, oh my God, it tastes like Indian ink. It's hideous. So just know that the green one, it's stronger. It's like, what, 6,000? Something like that. And the red one has the royal jelly in it, which I think the royal jelly, from what I'm understanding, will help with an aging issue. So if you want to start looking a little younger, you might be taking this one with the royal jelly.
And you'll kill parasites on top of that.
And killing parasites. So we've been on this for how long? It's been a couple of months.
It has been.
I think it's been a couple of months.
I've noticed though that the number one thing red Panax ginseng does is it helps with men who have erectile dysfunction.
Oh yeah, you guys should look up all the benefits of this stuff. It's like, this is what? How much did we pay for this one? This was
one's
$7.
like $7.
I think this one was $7, and you get 30 bottles, and this one was $5, and you only get how many? 10 bottles. But this one's easier to consume, and you'll start de-aging.
Also, the reason why the red Panax one in the green box is more, I guess, has that awful flavor is because it is more prominent in the ginseng than the other one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because it's like 6,000. The other one's like 2,000
it's 6,000 milligrams and the other one's 2,000 milligrams.
of the ginseng. So the green box is stronger. So definitely
Yeah.
tastes like Indian ink. It's horrible. I can't say it's good. It's quite horrible.
Yes.
It's like trying to suck it down in one big, because ew.
It takes many sips.
That's even more torturous. Ooh, yuck.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's just too much. But yeah, so we've been talking about the whole snake thing and how it's splitting the truther community, and it's either you're on board or you're a PsyOp, and it's like, come on, people. I had somebody say to me once, I watched her channel and I knew immediately it was wrong. I'm like, without researching? Gosh, how how's your life going? Because at that point, if you don't have to do any kind of hard research behind it and you just know everything in that moment, you must be the happiest, wealthiest person in this reality, right? Because you know everything, right? I will never, ever sit here and claim to know everything. You're a fool if you believe that.
It's one thing to have an intuition about somebody or something, but when it comes to real information, you have to look into it all.
Yeah, you really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just know it because I say so. Really? What's backing that up? I do believe in proof, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that I go in remote view, and I know that some stuff comes in and some stuff doesn't. But in the end, you need to start researching. You got to have an open mind. Put your hostilities towards something on the side and say, look, I'm going to do this fairly. I'm going to look at it both ways, because what would it hurt and could it benefit me in the long run if I had this info?
Well, another thing too is that when it comes towards the whole snake thing, we started noticing that when we were researching it and looking into it further, we found that it actually made a lot more sense on why people before this came out, it made a lot more sense on everything that was happening to the individuals, and it made more sense on why it was hitting certain communities than others.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I know when that one doctor was talking about it's in the water, and everyone's like, fear porn. I'm like, look, if I was walking down the street and a house went on fire and I started screaming, a house is on fire! A house is on fire! Help! Am I fear porning? Am I?
No, you're just alerting everybody. Yeah.
Because at that point, where does fear porn start and where does it end? And when is it just, okay, wake the hell up, people? We gotta do something here.
Some of these people might not wake up.
I've already come to that conclusion. There's a part of our populace that'll never wake up. The moment you shut down new information without looking into it, just out of hand, you're lost, because you have lost an opportunity to check something out one way or the other. If you're going to rubber stamp something, make sure you have enough information about it, and don't just believe what somebody says. Do the work yourself and don't be lazy.
Yeah, it comes down to that laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I've noticed, and I'm kind of sad about it, that there are some people that are envious, jealous if you want, because of the envy, where maybe they didn't get some kind of fame and notoriety where others have, yet they're still in the same kind of group, and they start to become backbiting and bitter. Look, everything happens for a reason. I don't like it any more than you do. It is what it is. I do know that there are some people who have worked really, really hard to get a lot of information out that was never known, because they were compelled to do this. And then other people can come into the scene because they were chosen for whatever reason. Maybe they had charisma. Maybe they had notoriety. Maybe they were famous at one time, where other groups of people have used this person to get the same information out. And you really shouldn't be angry about it. I mean, in the end, the only important thing is the information is out. I know it's unfair, because there are a few of us that have done a lot of research. And you deserve to have the notoriety, the fame, and the money too, because it's all is about the Babylonian money system also. And I don't know what to say. Just don't, please let it eat at your heart. And you know who I'm talking to. Because we love you. We don't want to see you miserable and hurt and vengeful. I don't, at least. And
I don't think anybody does.
No. Just know that you are going to be standing on exactly what you have done. And no matter what somebody was put up to get the information out, that does not diminish who you are. And it's as simple as that. So
yeah.
I'm hoping the person I'm talking to knows exactly who I'm talking to. We shall see.
I think they'll get it.
So I don't know. So do you have anything else to say about this whole snaky thing?
The last thing that I would have to make a comment on, there's one way that you can tell how a parasite is different than a bacteria, is that a bacteria will always have symptoms. And you'll always have something that will pop or rear its ugly head.
Well, what kind of parasite do you think was that I got out of my body? She was with me when I said, "Hey, get your butt over here! Look what's in my toilet!"
Oh, I saw it.
I still have it. It's in a drawer. I'm never getting rid of it. Somebody told me to put it in alcohol, but it was too late. It already
No,
was.
don't bring that. Don't bring that over. Don't.
We're gonna find it again.
Oh,
Do you
God.
have any idea what this might be even? Do you have the slightest idea?
No, I keep on thinking that it's the parasite from way back then, the one that attaches to your intestines, you know?
Yeah,
From those people.
That horrible parasite. I'll keep that forever, eternity.
Yeah, no, because that's gross. No, because
Are there little eggs in there?
that looks like condensation, not eggs.
Look at these little things. Well, there is condensation,
Condensation. I would say the eggs would have to be like
but I
that.
think those are eggs in there.
Look, see the white things? Those would be the eggs. This over here
This
is
little thing had,
condensation.
I think eggs came out of it because it's got, I don't even know if you can see this, it's got little tiny eggy things.
Well, they can self-replicate by themselves. They don't need other. Don't take it out.
Oh no, I'm making sure that lid is nice and tight. Ooh, the monster's in there.
You know that I don't know if it's because it's like been in a cool place or a warm place.
I put it underneath the cabinet. It's been cool.
Okay, so most parasites, the reason why they go to the genitalia and why they can be most prone there is because they like to live in moist, wet environments.
Is that the one you were just talking about? The
Yeah, the chlamydia and the other ones, yeah.
Horrible.
Also, most viruses that we think are viruses are actually intracellular parasites. They're not actually, viruses are not what we think they are, what we've been taught. The reason why they can't use an antibacterial medicine for parasites, or not parasites, but for viruses or anything like that. Like, let's say you go to the doctor and you have like a cold, or you have like the flu, okay? Because they consider both of those viruses, when in reality the cold is just a detox of your body. But this is why they can't treat it with anything, because a parasite's not going to die with antibacterial infection.
No.
No.
What were those? Hydrochloroquine?
Yeah, hydrochloroquine, ivermectin. I don't know if that's a parasite killer. That's like anti-venom.
Anti-venom.
Yeah.
So that was actually for the anti-venom and not the parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So parasites would be the borax, the diatomaceous, earth.
The red Panax ginseng is another one you could take.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see why if you were pumping something like, what was that, MMS? I think that's one of them for like parasite control. And if you're dealing with an actual snake, that's not going to work.
No.
That's not going to work.
No. And here's another thing. How are you going to kill these snakes in your body when, they've been synthesized to live there?
I know. This video that I'm going to post by this, what was her name again? Oh, I'm so bad with names. Oh, Lord. Jane Ruby, Dr. Jane Ruby. She's going to talk about the parasite synthesis and why the pharmaceutical companies did synthesize it's not the parasites, but the S, because you can't patent it unless it's if it's anything in nature, you can't patent it. So this is one of the reasons they did it. And then she shows these slides and things, and
well, it's just like herbal medicine. Herbal medicine is just using herbs to heal your body, and the pharmaceutical companies came in. Everything that we have, birth control, aspirin, Tylenol, all these medications were all based off of herbs.
Yeah.
And the reason why they synthesized it was they took a part out of it and added all this other crap there so they could make money.
yeah, it's all about the cursed Babylonian money system.
Yeah. Everything comes back to that.
It really does. It really does. So, well, I'm going to be posting Dr. Jane Ruby in the description. Please watch it. It's got a lot of new information on the actual synthesizing of the snake. This used to be the peace sign. Oh, gosh.
Well, it's like how
no.
how back then everybody, when they used to go to concerts, they used to wave their hands in the air and do all that. Now they just have their phones out recording the whole concert.
Oh, it's terrible.
I know it is.
It's terrible.
I know.
this AI thing, it really has gotten in between me and you.
Yes, it has.
It's got good points, or I wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah.
But in our physical world, yeah.
There can be a lot of negatives.
Yeah, it's really taken away our ability to be in our physical world.
To communicate with each other.
Yeah, it's terrible.
To be friendly.
Okay, do you have anything else to say? Because I guess we're going to end the video.
No.
All right, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you on my next video.
Bye.